Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Abelyn. If you're new here, hi. So today I'm going to be doing a Let's Talk, and if you're new here, this is your first time seeing this kind of video, this is kind of like my podcast. It's not really a podcast, but they're typically longer videos, and I just kind of talk about whatever you guys want to know or things that I feel like I need to talk about. But yeah, I haven't done this in a while and I'm super sorry. I was literally in my mind, I wanted this series to be once a week, but it just kind of got a lot after doing it twice, and I don't know, I was really bad with it. But yeah, let's get into the video. Oh, actually, before we get into the video, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'll have it right here, and I have my Depop right here, and yeah, let's get into the video. So I posted last night on my Instagram for you guys to ask me anything or put something that you guys want me to talk about, and there are a lot of things that we are going to cover today. A lot of questions that I got that I'm just going to start off with is about thrifting, and I know I make that content a lot on my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, so it makes sense why you guys are asking. So I got a lot of questions on, do you have any tips for thrifting, tips on how to thrift better, how to find things at the thrift store, when did I get into thrifting, and yeah, so I got into thrifting because of my dad. My dad has been thrifting since he was 16. He just said that he always liked going to thrift stores when he was younger, and he would buy Levi's in the 90s, in the 90s, and they were $2, and he would show up to school in them, and his friends would ask him where he got those pants, and he was the thrift store, and they were super confused why he was going to the thrift store. But my dad really got us into it. We've been thrifting since I was maybe 12. I wasn't really as into it as I am now. When I was younger, I would definitely just go because my dad wanted us to go, but he would help us find things, and then I would just be like, whoa, they have that here, and I just got into it, and I was really into it 4 years ago, right after I graduated high school. I was super into it, and I tried starting my own business, kind of like a Depop, how I do now, but it just kind of flopped. And then after I moved to San Francisco, and the thrifting in San Francisco and the Bay Area is kind of really not the same as it is kind of where I was used to, so I just stopped thrifting. And then when I moved back home 2 years ago now, 1 year, I just got into thrifting again because I really enjoyed it and I just had missed it. So that's how I got into thrifting. And now for tips, I feel like I've said this before too. I definitely have a few tips. One, I know people always say to kind of plan so you don't get overwhelmed, because it's really easy to get overwhelmed at thrift stores. But sometimes I just don't like going in with a certain plan. I do have things in my mind. I'd be like, oh, I kind of really want to get some purses today, or I would really want to find some cute kitten heels or jeans. But I kind of just keep those in mind. If I find them, I find them. I don't really am dying to find them, because I feel then it becomes more of a letdown when you don't find it, and it makes your experience not as fun and a little bit disappointing, and I feel it discourages you from wanting to go again because you feel you're not going to find it. So I typically like to go thrifting with an open mind, and I always suggest that to my friends or anyone that comes with me, to go in with an open mind, but still keep things in mind at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense. I went thrifting a week ago, and I was really wanting some new purses. As you can tell, I have a lot, but I typically end up selling all of them because people ask me for them. And I wanted to find purses for myself, and I found 3 bags that I really, really liked. So that was cool, but then I found these really cute shoes that I was not expecting to find, and then striped pants, kind of work style pants, and they fit me perfectly. So it kind of just depends. I always do keep something in mind, but as I'm going through all the aisles, I find more things that I like, and it's not something that I was specifically looking for, if that makes sense. Also, if you are genuinely really looking for something, or you are really wanting to get something out of your thrift trip, I would take your time. There's really no time limit that you need to scan the aisles. Like, I've been doing it for so long, so I kind of feel like I just have a better eye than someone who doesn't really thrift, so I can kind of scan through an aisle really quickly and see that there's not really something there for me. But even then, I go through every single aisle, like literally every single aisle. I go through all the women's tops, the jeans, the pants, the trousers, the jackets, the blazers, like the vests. Like, I literally go through all of them, and then I make my way to men's. So I can literally be at a thrift store for about an hour and a half. And I feel like that's why sometimes I leave with like really good things, is because I really took my time to go through it. And it does require patience. And I know not a lot of people really either have the time or really want to do that. So that's why I like buying on Depop or Poshmark is just like a better alternative for them. But if you're just really like wanting to get into it and finding good things, then I would really suggest making the time. Like, at least give yourself an hour and go through aisles that you like really want to find something in. Like, if you're looking for like a really cool tank top, like go through the entire tank top aisle and then, you know, keep moving on. But I would really just recommend taking your time. That's my biggest tip. And I know sometimes when I go with like my dad, my siblings, or like my friends, actually my friend Mackenzie's like my favorite person to go thrifting with, because she likes to go through all the aisles too, and she really takes her time, and she doesn't really care if I take a longer time. But sometimes I go with my dad, and if we go into like a really big thrift store, he just knows that I'm gonna like be in there for a while. So take your time. If that's not something that you're into, you just really don't want to be there for that long, then you might not like come back with, you know, something that you're looking for, because the thrift store is not like Zara, where like all like, you know, spring season 2021 is like in the front ready there for you to buy. It's like you kind of have to look. So yeah, that's my biggest tip, is be patient, go through all the aisles, don't really expect to find like the perfect pair. Like, it's going to take a few trips to find something. But yeah, definitely be patient, because you just never know what gems are in there. And thrifting is not for everyone, I understand that. But just for those who were wondering, those are probably my biggest thrift tips. I feel like I kind of went on a tangent. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What are your unpopular fashion dislikes? I feel like I have a couple. And whenever I feel like I express my dislikes or opinions on the internet, it's really meant in no way to like offend you. They're just my opinions. Like, there could be something that I'm into or that I wear that you just simply don't like, but it's like, it's your opinion, so it's not really gonna like hurt my feelings. I was talking to my sister about this, that I'm really not into Jordan 1s as much as I used to, just because I feel like they're so like oversaturated. And I still like the shoes. Like, I think they are really a cool pair, and they could definitely elevate a basic outfit. But right now I feel like I can't see myself spending like $300 on a pair of like shoes like that are no longer going to be like as cool. I think Nike Jordans will always like be around, and they'll always like have some type of market to them. But right now, like, it's like a hyper market that like everyone is just like super into. So I've been kind of like steering away from those. And like Dunks, I feel like are kind of taking the spot with Jordan 1s to be like the next different pair of shoe. But yeah, I just can't see myself buying a pair of shoes like that right now. I really, 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 really like them, and I still want a pair, but I just can't get myself to buy it, if you know what I mean. Like, you can like something, but just like, I won't buy it. But there's like certain things where you just like want to buy. I don't know. That's how I feel about that right now. And there was something else. I'm not really into the leg warmer and like arm warmer trend. I think it looks cute on like the people who wear it. I would just like, that's just not my style, and I wouldn't wear that. Also, I'm not really into like the pattern tights. I think I've said that before. I like them on people, but yeah, I would just never wear that. It's just not my vibe. But yeah, I like, in no way do I mean to like tear people down that like wear any of those kind of things. It's just my personal opinion. It really doesn't mean much if you wear that. But yeah, I guess that's my little opinion right now. Someone asked me my dream college. In high school, when I was a freshman, my dream college was NYU. And I feel like when you're a freshman or in 8th grade, you kind of have really no perception of what is, or like how hard it is to get into school, and like what is a hard school to get into. I feel like I just seen NYU in like movies, like people going there, and it just looked so cool. And I've always been like fascinated by New York, but I by no means had the grades to get into NYU, and my parents just weren't really into me moving that far away, like me being like the oldest and like the first kid to go to college. Yeah, I think when I was like a sophomore or like later freshman year, I kind of realized that that dream was like no longer something that was gonna happen. But I feel like if I like still had a dream school, it would be NYU, or I really like USC, but I just feel like I wouldn't fit in at USC. I feel like I would find like my group of people there, but I really like that school just because it's close to home, and I love Southern California and it's in LA, so I feel like that's like, if I were to live in a school here, it would be USC or Santa Barbara. I just really like the vibe there, or NYU. I feel like NYU is like my dream school. I really like that school. When I was in New York with my brother, we were in Washington Square Park, and literally like NYU is in the middle of the city. It was just like the coolest thing ever. And I also got asked, do you go to college? If so, what is your major? No, I've answered this before. I don't go to college. I have a video on my channel. It's my very first Let's Talk. I literally talk about why I'm not in school, what school I did go to, la da 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 da. I get that question asked a lot. Go check out that video if you haven't already. I answer all the questions about school and why I'm not in it, just so I don't have to be repetitive in my videos. Let's see. Okay, so I got a lot of questions too about self-love and how to never stop loving yourself and how to be confident. I get that question asked a lot too, is like, where do I get my confidence from? How to be more confident? And I feel like that's something that so many people can tell you like how to do or what they do and stuff like that, and it just really is on your own timing and how you like, or like when you're ready to actually change or just like receive that kind of information, because you can hear like, I did this, this, and that, and it's just really not going to change until you want to, if that makes sense. But I guess like for me, I feel like I never really hated myself, and I feel like I'm lucky in that way, because that is something that people struggle with, and it's definitely like, it can really toll on your mental health when you're just like constantly picking at yourself. But I don't know if it's like maybe the way my parents would just like talk to me when I was younger and how they talked to my siblings. Like they always told me and my sister, like, you guys are so beautiful, like I love your skin color, like you guys are just like, you know, just like always just said like super like kind like words of affirmation to us. And I just feel like maybe because I heard it so much growing up, I just believed it. And I'm not saying like I'm the most like confident person in the world, but when I'm picking out clothes, or if I am just like looking in the mirror, I'm not like bringing myself down. And I really wish that everyone could be like that, because I have friends that will just like tear themselves apart when they're looking at a picture of themselves or looking at the mirror. And I'm just like, literally, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. And I feel like everyone should just look at yourself in like a positive way. Like if you tell yourself positive affirmations, like just in your head, you don't even have to say them out loud if you don't want to say them out loud. Like then you, like, I feel like you'll look at yourself differently. There's definitely times I've looked at pictures and I'm like, ew, I look so scary in that picture, or like, oh, my body doesn't look good in that picture. But I'm never like, oh, I hate this picture. Like, I don't know. Well, okay, I don't know how to explain it, because there are definitely pictures that I would rather than not see the internet because I don't like the way I look. But I don't really like tell myself like, oh, I can't wear that because of this. Like, I always feel like I try to figure out a way that I can wear it to match my body. Like, I know I have really short legs. I have like chubby legs. I don't have long, skinny legs. I have like a super round face. And they're just kind of like traits that I just know about myself, and I know how to make them work for like clothes or makeup or pictures. Like, I only like the left side of my face. I don't really like the right side of my face because my jawline is not as defined on my right. And obviously I'll try to like stay on my left, but I don't even know what I'm talking about or how to explain this. I just feel like confidence is something that you have to really work at for yourself, and I just like recommend everyone to always just like look at themselves in a positive way. Like, tell yourself that you look good. Don't like, instead of like looking at the thing that's wrong about the picture, like look about like, oh, I really like the way my hair looks, you know? And I know it can be a struggle for some people because some people are just like that, where they just automatically think of themselves like in a lesser version. And I really wish everyone could see like the beautiful and the positive sides about themselves. And I don't even know, I feel like I'm just being repetitive and saying the same things, but I don't really know how to explain confidence. Because it's like, it's a personal thing. I definitely have been like super insecure at times and like self pity myself. I would just be like, oh, I'm, you know, like darker than my friends. Like all my friends have fair skin, they're blonde, they are like the beauty standard. But like I feel like when people say like, oh, you are the beauty standard, like you're like the only way that can be beautiful, but there are like people that have like beautiful dark skin and like beautiful dark hair, curly hair, or they're like really really pale with really light hair, and it's just like there's like different kinds of beauty, you know, like it's just not one kind of beauty. And I just feel like everyone needs to like chill the F out and like stop putting other people down, commenting about someone. Like if you don't like the way someone looks, like just like keep that to yourself. Like literally no one needs to know that information. It's super useless information to tear someone down by the way they look. That's just like disgusting. Yeah, I feel like I don't even know where I was going with that, but self-love is just like doing things that you like to do. I'm a super independent person. Like I'm okay with like being by myself like a lot. Like I don't really need like a guy to make me feel better. I don't need to like be around like people all the time. Like I really like like being by myself. I feel like the only person I like being around the most is my sister, but that's just because we live with each other and I'm just so used to being around. But when it comes to self-love, like just like do things that you like to do. Like just go get a coffee by yourself, because sometimes that can be hard to just do that alone. It's like going out just to get a drink by yourself. Yeah, learning how to be by yourself, I feel like is something that can help you too, with like finding self-love. But I feel like I don't even know what I said was helpful to you. I'm so sorry. I feel like I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, like, can you, like, let me know, like, if I sounded crazy or not? I feel like confidence sometimes can be a sensitive topic, or it's just, like, how do you explain the way you are, you know? Something to think about. If you have any tips for confidence that you think could help someone else, leave them in the comments below, because I'm sure someone could use it. But just love yourself, and I know that can be hard. Okay, so still going off that topic, kind of what I was saying, there was a question saying confidence, especially when you aren't the beauty standard, and I think I saw that question. That's why I kind of went into the beauty standard. So yes, there is a beauty standard, which is typically very thin, long legs, but still curvy at the same time, long hair, I don't know. Eurocentric features, and I wouldn't say my like body base or anything really fits the beauty standard, but I would still like not put myself down. I feel like that's what I was trying to like say earlier, when you're like not the beauty standard. Like if you're tan or if you have like dark skin, like you should embrace that and not be scared of it, because I feel like I knew people like in my family or even myself sometimes when I was like the darkest person in the room, and I'm not even that dark. Like I'm Hispanic, so I do have tan skin, and it can be like a little intimidating because you're just like, I look nothing like anyone else who's here, because there's like some parts of Southern California where they just like feel weird, like when you're literally not white, and you're like the only person that's not white that's in the room. It's just like, you know, and it can be really intimidating, or you can feel intimidated. And I would just like say, like, I've seen people literally like they get tan. Like, they pay for spray tans. Or like they like will lay out in the sun, damage their skin to get tan. And it's just like, you're naturally born that way. You're naturally born with like super like beautiful dark skin. Like, I don't understand why that's a problem at all in people's minds. Like, when they're like, I hate being dark, when like, I feel like the beauty standard, people want to look like that. Or if they have like certain features, I feel like people pay to look like that sometimes. And it's just like, okay, so there's like some people that are considered the beauty standard, but they're altering the way they look to look like someone who isn't the beauty standard. So it's just like, you're always gonna want what you can't have. Like, the people who are considered the beauty standard, they probably don't consider themselves, I don't know, beautiful, or like they want to be more. So it's just like, you're always gonna want to be something that you're not. You're always going to want something that you can't have. And I feel like my mom has always told me that, like, the grass is not greener on the other side. So it's just like, don't even compare. Like, just, you know, realize that like you have like beautiful skin, beautiful hair, like whatever it is. Like, it just, you know, you can have something that you don't like that someone is dying for, you know. And I just feel like everyone should just appreciate that they have a body that's healthy, and that you woke up another day. My parents always said that you should be grateful that you like woke up, because not everyone is as lucky, you know. You never know what can happen. And I just feel like we should all live by that and not by beauty, if you know what I mean. Another topic that came up here on my questions page was getting cheated on. I don't even know how to talk about this, or I don't even know how to like go about this, just because I'm like a super tough love kind of gal. Like, ask my sister, she thinks I'm like super rude, but I feel like I'd rather tell you how it is than like sugarcoat it, because like, what good does that do you to like not hear the truth? I feel like when you get cheated on, speaking from personal experience, that it feels like the end of the world, and you just feel like you will never recover, and it's just like the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and it just is like the most dramatic thing in the world. And really, it's not a blessing, but a blessing in disguise, because I feel like you just dodged a bullet. If someone would do that to you, then I feel like, thank God you found out who they really were, because like, someone that does that to you doesn't love you, no matter which way you look at it. You know, they could be like the nicest guy in the world, and there was like, that happened, nicest guy or girl, whatever. That's just like not the way you should treat anyone at all. And I just remember, like, I literally thought it was the end of the world, and I was like so dramatic about it, and at the time it does hurt super bad, and all you want to do is just like either like rip their heads off or like lay in your room and cry. And I think it's necessary to let out all those emotions and to go through all those emotions and just like experience that. And then, I know everyone says this, like, if you've gone through that kind of a breakup and someone's told you like it takes time, it really does. God, I think it was like 2 years ago for me, and literally I remember that exact day, and I was with my friend, and I like literally could have sworn it was the end of the world. But fast forward now to 2 years, it's just like, I'm not even like anything like that person that I was, like that emotional state. Like, I came out like so much like happier, more confident, like stronger in my emotions. And it's just like, I don't even know, like, if you're going through something like that right now, definitely let yourself cry, let yourself be angry, really avoid that person at all costs. Like, going back to a person that does that, there's really nothing there for you, because there's going to be animosity in that relationship. You don't really fully trust that person ever again. They can say all the right things to you that make you want to like go back and say like the sweetest things, and they're so charming, they know exactly what to say, but really the relationship will never be what it was prior to getting cheated on. And I just feel like the trust is just never there. It's just not the same. And like, I feel like you're always just gonna hold a grudge to that person, and then that person is gonna like always feel like they can never like step up and get back to how you guys were, which you guys probably can't. I mean, if you went back to someone, I'm in no way place here judging you. I've done it. I've like gone back, and it's just like, I wish I saved myself the heartache again, and like the headaches, and like the time, because it's just like, it's never really what it was. I'm speaking based off experience myself, from friends that I've witnessed, and it's just like such a headache. And if you truly believe that you belong with that person, I'm not someone that really believes in soulmates, that's like another topic, but like if you truly believe that like you belong with this person, then I mean, no one can really tell you what to do. It's your life. No one knows the relationship like you guys did, so it's just like, you really have to go based off like your gut. And I feel like your gut is always right, because why would like a certain thought like come into your head, or why would you get a feeling if there like wasn't a reason? I feel like there's always been a reason for any like hard gut feeling I've ever had, and it always proved to be right, even though you don't want it to be. And yeah, I feel like getting cheated on is pretty much like the worst. Not the worst thing I've ever experienced, but it was definitely like, at the time I thought it was like the worst, and it's just like so dramatic. I was so dramatic and emotional, and I've been with like friends who had to go through that, and it's just like, I don't know, I just feel like you never fully trust the person that you were with like in the same way. And yeah, I feel like the relationship is just never what it was before, prior to that. But then again, I am someone that would like never judge anyone for like what they do, like for their relationship. But it's just like, if it gets to a certain point where like this person is proven to you that they won't treat you right, then it's just like kind of hard for me to like want. I'm not like trying to like sound rude or anything at that like that. I'm just saying like in my opinion. And if you have friends that feel this way, this is like, I feel like we're like, to play devil's advocate, if you are with someone that's just like constantly proven themselves to like treat you so bad, and it's just not a good person, then it's just like hard for like an outsider or a friend to watch you keep getting hurt, because it's like you're being self-destructive. You're doing that to yourself, and wouldn't you just rather be happy? Like, there's absolutely no way that this person makes you that happy that it outweighs all the hurt that you've gone through. Then I feel like you can get out of that and be super happy like on your own and find something better. And it just sounds like the worst idea when you're going through that, and it's just like, you don't want to hear it, but like I feel like that's my opinion on that. I'm a super tough love kind of gal. Whenever any of my friends, family, anyone has gone through that personal experience, go back if you want. No one is going to stop you. I definitely won't judge you, but you know, just be ready for like a completely different relationship, because it's not ever the same like when you guys like first started dating, if you know what I mean. And if you've ever gotten cheated on, I feel you. If it's like pretty recent and you've moved on, like, I'm so proud of you, so happy for you. Sometimes walking away can be really, really hard, and always do what makes you feel good. I stand whatever makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. I don't stand something that you think will make you happy to like put a band-aid over like a really big wound, you know? I stand what makes you happy and will make you feel good. And that's where I will leave that. If you guys ever just feel like you have no one to talk to, it could be for mental health, relationships. I don't always go through my DM just because sometimes I just like my screen time is ridiculous and I try to put my phone down. And it's just from being on TikTok. So sometimes I don't go on Instagram just because I like can't. My eyes hurt. So sorry if I don't always see your messages. But if you just feel like you have absolutely no one to talk to and you want to get something off your chest, you can always DM me. I do go through my messages at times. And if you need to talk to someone, I'm for sure here for you. Let's move on to a lighter topic. So I get a lot of questions too about how I got into fashion, and I feel like I touched on this too in my first Let's Talk, which will be linked down below. And how did I grow my Instagram? How do I make fashion content? How do I get collabs? Do I have any experience with online fashion jobs? So I'm going to try to answer all of these kind of general questions that are very similar into one thing. So if you don't know, I used to work for a PR firm, PR agency. It was a celebrity like styling, couture, style PR. We handled, when I first started, I worked directly with, I don't even know what her exact job title was, but she worked directly with stylists who were, in a sense, borrowing our clothes and our showcase for their clients' like red carpets, like other PR, like they have interviews or photo shoots. Yeah, so I don't really know if that makes sense, because when I first got into the job, I had no idea that that job even existed. I thought that was super cool. So she worked directly with stylists. And, okay, let's say Style Me Maeve Riley, she's Hailey Bieber's stylist. She would come in often, and she has other clients besides Hailey Bieber, but Hailey Bieber's like her biggest client. So she would come in and go through our selects, because we had like couture, like evening gowns and dresses that were like meant for red carpet. Then we had like kind of like avant-garde things that are kind of meant for high fashion, photo shoots type things. And then we just had like streetwear, which was like, just like streetwear clothes, kind of like not Princess Polly directly, but clothes kind of like Princess Polly, like that, like, and that was mainly for influencers who like wanted clothes for content and stuff like that. But then, so we had like stylists like Style Me Maeve who would come in for that, and I worked directly with that person. That was her job, and I worked with her, so I would help kind of like package all the clothes and either drop them off or pick them up, because there was a lot of driving as an intern, because let's say the stylist had it at her studio and she didn't have time to drop it off, but we needed the clothes back by today, they would send me or another intern to go pick it up. And that's kind of where I first started, and that was definitely like the most tiring job I've ever had, besides like retail, because you're just driving all back and forth. And if you've never drove in LA, if you're not from LA, the traffic is just horrible, especially around like the times where I was working. And yeah, I would be in Beverly Hills and then have to go to like Burbank, West Hollywood, back to Glendale. It's just like a lot of back and forth. And then the office was in downtown, so it was just like a lot of back and forth. But I loved it. Like I got to meet so many cool stylists. Like they for sure don't remember me because I would just like pop in for a second, but I got to like see so many studios and stuff like that. So I absolutely loved that part. And then as it went on, later into my internship, I got like promoted, I guess, to senior intern, and a few other interns got promoted as well. So we got to work like directly with our head of gifting person, and she was so awesome. She had like so many cool like clients that she worked with, and that's when I basically was just kind of wrapping all the PR gifts, and like the Kardashians were on that list, a lot of like really B-list celebrities or like really high influencers would just get packages. So kind of there I stopped doing drop-offs, which I liked because I didn't have to drive as much, but we would just kind of wrap PR gifts, get them all ready. I remember one of the brands we worked with had a collab with Stassi Baby, and that just like took over like our entire like days for like a few weeks, because we were just like making sure each person that was on the PR list got the correct items. So that was pretty cool to see too. And help with events during Halloween. One of our clients who had a Halloween party, this was like 2019, and we had to help prep and get ready for the party. So that's kind of my most experience with like fashion industry. it wasn't so much online because I did this pre-COVID. This was in 2019, so it was all in the office. I'm not quite sure how internships are working right now because I haven't done one since COVID. And yeah, I just feel like I learned so much, and I absolutely recommend getting an internship. And I also had a lot of questions too about how I got the internship, how to get internships, like how to get jobs. And honestly, like no one really helped me. This is when I decided I didn't want to go back to school, and I really was just like determined to work, get experience, and that's exactly what I did. But no one held my hand, and no one's going to hold your hand. I get this question like a lot to my TikTok, and I just always want to tell you, if you need someone to help you all the time, I really would not recommend the fashion industry, social media industry, because it moves quick and there's no explaining. No one really tells you how to do anything. It's kind of like figure it out as you go. And if you're independent, a really good like worker, like you have a good work ethic, like you'll thrive and you'll get the job. And I like don't have like the best like skills on like how to print out a resume. I literally Googled resume and cover letter when I was asked for one, and I looked it up on Google and I made my own. So I feel like if you really have questions like that, you can find it on the internet, because like you can Google it and nothing will be handed to you unless you have like nepotism or something. But if you don't have like any connections like that, really starting from the ground up is how you're going to make your way. And I've met a lot of people through my internships, like, because we were all similar age, and we kind of just exchanged Instagrams, and we like still follow each other. So it was like pretty cool to meet people like that, and you just never know like what that person is going to do. And yeah, I just want to give you guys that little spiel. But after that, because it was only like a 6-7 month internship, I interned with a celebrity stylist because I knew one of my friends had a friend who was an assistant, and she just posted about needing an assistant for another stylist, and I just swiped up and said, I'll do it. I had no experience with being a celebrity stylist assistant. I have no contacts. I had recommendations because of my internship, and they recommended me, but I had really like no other connection. And she just called me on the phone. The stylist called me on the phone. We did a quick little interview. I told her I don't have a lot of experience. I worked at a PR internship, and I'm familiar with Los Angeles. Like that's probably like my best qualities. Like I can drive. I don't really need like much direction like that. I know exactly where everything is, and I feel like that might have been my biggest advantage, just because I was really familiar with the area because I worked there and I'm from here. And she was like, okay. So I just came in, but that was really not my favorite job, and just a lot more work than it was worth, because I lived so far from where she was staying, like where she lived and what I was doing for her. And that was like an all-day thing. Obviously no pay. Also, I wouldn't suggest the fashion industry if you like need a high-paying job immediately, because it's really all about experience, starting from the bottom, like I said, and working your way up. But I didn't absolutely love that job, because it just reminded me a lot of like my driving time I did when I first started my internship, and I thought I wanted to do something a little bit more. I did get to see a lot of really cool showrooms, like the Giorgio Armani showroom. We spent a lot of time in Beverly Hills going to showrooms there. That was probably like my favorite part, and I got to see a lot of studios. But if you're not really into that, then leave, because you're just going to waste their time and your time. So it's all about kind of figuring out what you like to do really quickly. So that's my fashion experience in a nutshell. And going off now into kind of what I'm doing now, and I guess how to go about it. I would not call myself an influencer at all. I would call myself grateful for the opportunities I've got to work with brands, and it's just like super exciting, because I remember it'll be 2 years this August when I was an intern, and I was like writing out emails to people that we wanted on our PR list. I was like, oh, this is like such a dream. Like I literally want this. Like I would love to have like brands reach out to me and work with them, because I love creating content. That's what I do for fun. So I would love to do it for a brand. And here I am now, almost 2 years later, getting emails from brands that I'm like, I literally shop from you. I love you. I'm excited to like work together. And I just honestly feel like I have to owe it all to TikTok. But I also owe it to myself because during like quarantine and stuff like that, I really just took the liberty of just posting myself on TikTok. I feel like I was embarrassed at first. I was like, I don't want like people from like my high school or like my old friends to like see that. That's like embarrassing. But then I remembered like TikTok's kind of like its own personal algorithm. Like I'm pretty sure like the guy friends that I used to be friends with, like they would never really see me on their For You page unless it was like kind of by accident, because I just wouldn't be their For You page. But yeah, I just feel like I am just really proud of myself for putting myself out there. I've always been a kind of person to put myself out there. I don't know why I was so scared and so nervous to like make TikToks when it's literally my favorite thing to do. And I feel like I was posting really consistently over quarantine, kind of just showing like outfits I would wear, my style, just like outfit videos. And I wasn't going anywhere. Like we were literally on lockdown, and I was just making videos on like clothes that I liked or clothes that I wish I could wear, and like outfits of the week. I kind of started with outfits of the week before COVID. When I was going to work, I would just show my outfits, and I guess I just grabbed some attention from some people, and I started gaining followers, which is crazy. And I feel like it gradually happened. I've had like a few videos that did really well that like kind of boosted my following, but I feel like there were like times where it was just like steady, and then I would get a little bit of followers. So that's how I guess I grew my following. And really, I just feel like being about like authenticity and being authentic to yourself, people will like gravitate towards you because you're not like everyone else that they see. Like you're something new and fresh for them to look at. Like I feel like the people I follow, I'm just like obsessed just with the way either they dress, like their house, like their apartment, their room, or just like their like vibe overall is why I follow them. And I just think that they're so cool, and I have to assume that's just why people follow me, is just they like something about me that I do. And if you are yourself on the internet, you're not trying to copy anyone, if you're just doing you, no one can really stop you, but people will definitely notice you and just take an interest. So I would just recommend to put yourself out there, be yourself, don't try to be like anyone else, because then it's just like not authentic, and it's just like, I don't know, that's just me personally. Most of the brands that I work with have been ones that reached out to me. I remember about, I want to say maybe a year ago, I had like 2,000 or 3,000 followers on Instagram, and I didn't have TikTok. I emailed certain brands saying I would work for them just in exchange for product for a post, and they said that they would get back to me, and I never heard back from them. And now they email me saying that they want to work with me, and it's just like pretty interesting. I know some people ask me like, you can like, did you email them? Like, what did you say? Most of the big brands that I worked with, I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me, which I feel really lucky for. I don't know. I've seen people on TikTok and Instagram give advice on like how to get brand deals without having like a lot of followers. I feel like my page just wasn't like aesthetic enough. Like if you have a really aesthetic page and not a lot of followers, I feel like the brands will still work with you because they like your aesthetic and the way you have things. Like I didn't have an aesthetic page and I didn't have followers, so it's just like there's nothing there for them to work with me. Now I feel like my page is not super aesthetic, but it's like very me, and it's like my outfits or my nails or like what I do, and I have like more following now. So now like the brands take interest to me because I have more people viewing me. So I feel like it just really depends. Like if you're gonna have an aesthetic, brands will want you. If you have followers, brands will want you. So it just kind of feel like depends on what works for you. I was just never someone that like, I do plan out my Instagram where I see what it'll look like, but even if it doesn't really match, I feel like I post it anyways because I don't really care. But I know there are certain people that like have it completely planned, like super pretty, and that's why brands will gravitate towards them. But you just like, I feel like it just really depends on who it is, and I just feel like trial and error, trying out different things, like maybe try out a planned feed. Maybe it works for you. It doesn't work for me. But yeah, I feel like that's my advice on being on social media. But yeah, that's kind of all the advice and stories and tips I have on being on social media, fashion, Instagram, stuff like that. Also, a lot of you guys have been asking for a room tour, but I just feel like I absolutely cannot do a room tour. I've shown my room on my vlogs, and I feel like that's where you guys can see my room, but it's just like not how I want my room to be, but I'm just running out of space, and I still live with my mom. My goal is to move out eventually and have my own place, and I feel like that's where I can just like make everything mine, have the space for like my personal clothes, my Depop, like my packages, like my PR, like everything is all over the place in my room. Nothing is, my only thing that's clean about my room is my bed, because I make my bed every day, because that's the only thing I can like count on to like not be a mess. But I have so many clothes over there, like it's ridiculous, and it's just my personal clothes that I don't have room for in my dresser or my closet, so I just have it in baskets. And then I have a clothing rack. I have that's mainly for Depop and like my merch, so it's just like a lot. I try to make my room as like me as possible, but it's just like at this point I'm kind of just accepting the space that I have right now and just using it for that. I don't really like buying room decor anymore. Like I was trying to like revamp my room, like buying little things from like Home Goods and stuff like that, but it's just like not even worth it because the lighting in my room is weird, the space is an issue, and it's not because I have a really small room, it's because I have so much stuff where I just need a bigger space. That makes sense. But you guys can, I feel like, kind of tell what my room looks like from my vlogs. Someone said fave sibling. I can't pick. I love my brother and my sister the same. They are my besties. I do everything with my brother and my sister. Me and my sister hang out every single day, all day pretty much. When she goes into her room and like reads and like or watches a movie without me, I go in there to hang out with her. And my brother too. We all like the same foods. We all like to go to the bookstore, to go thrifting, to go eat, to hang out. I mean, we all kind of like the same thing, so it's like they're my besties, so I can't pick. But I'm closer with Alyssa just because we're closer in age, and we're like girls, so we just have more to talk about then. But Alec is still my baby, my little baby brother. I just kind of wanted to do another video like this because I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in so long, and I love talking to you guys, and I kind of treat this like my podcast. If you are listening to this, listen to this when you're doing your makeup, cleaning. If you have a Tesla, you can play this in your car while you're driving. I think you can't do that in my car, but yeah, that is all for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so much. See you guys in the next video. Bye.